At its peak, WeWork was worth $47 billion. It was supposed to reinvent the way people worked, lived, and even thought about community. But behind the hype was chaos. And within just a few years, one of the most valuable startups in the world imploded. This is the story of WeWork, the $47 billion dream that turned into a disaster. WeWork began in 2010, founded by Adam Neumann and Miguel McKelvey in New York City. Their idea was simple: take office space, redesign it to feel modern, social, and collaborative, and rent it out as shared workspaces. But what set WeWork apart wasn't the product. Others had tried co-working before. It was the pitch. Adam Neumann wasn't just selling desks, he was selling belonging. He promised a we generation that would transform not only how people worked, but how they lived. Neumann was tall, charismatic, and endlessly confident. With his long hair and messianic tone, he captivated investors. He convinced them that WeWork wasn't a real estate company. It was a tech company. And in the 2010s, being a tech company meant unlimited growth, massive valuations, and endless investor money. And the money came. By 2012, WeWork had raised nearly $7 million. By 2014, it was valued at $1.5 billion. By 2017, it had soared to $20 billion. All the while, WeWork was burning cash at a staggering rate. But in the world of venture capital, that didn't matter. Inside WeWork, the culture was part office, part party. Locations had free beer on tap, neon signs on the walls, and open spaces that made startups feel like they were part of something bigger. Employees worked hard but also partied hard. Annual company gatherings called Summer Camp featured live concerts, booze, and Neumann himself preaching about the movement he was building. To many, he wasn't just a CEO. He was more like a cult leader, and people believed. The biggest believer of all was Masayoshi Son, the founder of SoftBank. In 2017, Son invested billions into WeWork through his Vision Fund. He told Neumann to think bigger, much bigger. Make WeWork a trillion-dollar company, Son urged, and Neumann took that literally. WeWork began expanding wildly. They opened offices across the globe, from London to Shanghai. They moved into education with WeGrow, a school founded by Neumann's wife, Rebecca. They experimented with shared apartments under We Live. Neumann even spoke about WeWork one day helping humans live forever and colonizing Mars. The valuation kept climbing. By 2019, WeWork was worth $47 billion on paper. But then came the IPO. In August 2019, WeWork filed to go public. For the first time, outsiders could see the company's financials, and what they saw was shocking. WeWork had lost nearly $2 billion the previous year alone. Its business model was simple real estate arbitrage: rent long-term, lease short-term. And Adam Neumann's leadership was riddled with conflicts of interest. He had trademarked the word "we" and sold it back to the company for millions. He borrowed hundreds of millions personally, backed by his WeWork stock. And the prospectus was filled with bizarre statements about elevating the world's consciousness. Investors weren't impressed. The IPO collapsed, and in a matter of weeks, WeWork's $47 billion valuation became a punchline. The fallout was brutal. WeWork's valuation plunged to less than $10 billion. SoftBank had to step in with a bailout. Adam Neumann was forced out as CEO, but not before negotiating a golden parachute worth hundreds of millions. Thousands of employees lost their jobs. Then, in 2020, the pandemic hit. Suddenly, offices everywhere shut down. WeWork's core product, shared physical space, became almost worthless overnight. A company built on growth and community was now fighting just to survive. WeWork's story isn't just about one eccentric founder. It's about the dangers of hype and the culture of growth at all costs. The idea of co-working wasn't bad, The mistake was pretending it was revolutionary technology. And as long as investors believed in the myth, the numbers didn't matter. But numbers always matter in the end. Cash flow, profit, sustainability, those are what keep businesses alive. WeWork had none of them. It's a cautionary tale for every founder. If you build your company on hype instead of fundamentals, the collapse is inevitable. WeWork promised to change the world, and instead, it became a symbol of excess. But Adam Neumann wasn't the only visionary who took investors for a ride. Next, we'll look at Elizabeth Holmes and Theranos, the $9 billion startup that promised to revolutionize healthcare and delivered nothing.